All right, guys, we're back for week 2. Sorry, I lied to you. I was planning to film a Friday session, and then life just got squirrely that day. So it kind of works out because I think last week we did days 1 and 3 together. So this week we'll do days 2 and 4. So we'll have done everything together at some point, and then the next 2 weeks we'll probably flip-flop those back and forth. So we'll do each session together one more time, and that works out pretty well that way. So we'll do some pressing together today. I don't think we really did any last week on video, except for some like light jerk technique work. So today's the big pressing day. I've got dumbbell, block, and log. And it's one of those sessions that on paper looks like it should be pretty short. I have 3 doubles of each, which really isn't that much, but I think just because it's a press day, so it takes me forever to warm up, and then just like the setup and tear down of different implements, and just like the nature of strongman, I feel like it always ends up taking longer than it looks like it's going to on paper. So today is probably going to have to be split up because I played myself. I got here like an hour and a half ago and then just sat in my car because I couldn't make myself come in, which is embarrassing to admit because I'm a professional athlete and I'm supposed to be able to do my job, and but I'm still human, and some days it just is like that, and I think that's also important to acknowledge. Sometimes we don't want to do it, but we're here and we're gonna start. And I did it to myself. I'm gonna have to probably split things up because I do have to coach for a couple hours this evening, and I've got about just shy of 2 hours before I've got to start coaching. Half of that time is probably gonna be spent warming up, and then I'll try to get through dumbbell and block prior to work, and then I'll probably have to come back at the end for log and accessories. Thankfully, the accessories are pretty minimal today. I think I've got a couple of sets of triceps and like some abs, so that part should go pretty quickly. It's just the main movements that kind of take some time. So I'm going to go try to bust through this warm-up, try to not spend more than 30-40 minutes getting my shoulders warmed up so that we have enough time to hopefully get through 2 of the implements before I have to work. But worst case scenario, we'll just do more later. So I'll see you back when we get to dumbbell. All right, so we're a few sets in on the Circus dumbbell so far. I definitely can tell that I rushed my warm-ups a little bit. It's feeling a little bit sticky, but not terrible. Strength and like power feels okay. So probably just going to take a few more extra warm-up sets working up to working weight. We're up to 115 in the orange, like Texas Power Concepts cylinder style dumbbell. The contest is going to be a Rogue Monster Bell, but because those are like sand loaded, they're really hard to like adjust the weight up and down. So I do most of my warm-ups on this dumbbell. The Rogue is currently loaded to 122 because that was my working weight last week. So I'll see how this feels. This is 115. If this flies, I'll probably go up to the 122 for my last warm-up set. If this still feels a little bit sticky, I'll probably do one more at like 125 to kind of overload and then go to the Rogue at 122. The goal is to be heavier this week than last week. So hopefully the 122 feels really easy and then we can jump up from there. I would really like to be between 130 and 135 today. That would put me on track for where I feel like I need to be to hit the contest weight, but we'll kind of see how the first set moves and then decide where we want to bring the weight up. It's kind of tricky to pick a weight because once we put the sand in, it's really hard to get it back out. It's hard to bring the weight back down, so trying to err on the side of staying a little bit under and then leave room to grow. So we'll see how it's moving and then make a decision. So this will be hopefully last warm-up set, maybe last 1 or 2 warm-up sets here on this dumbbell, and then we'll go to the Rogue. All right, so I'm not really sure how to feel about that rep. It wasn't my cleanest rep. I just rushed it. It wasn't set on my shoulder well. It wasn't the right direction. There were a lot of things that went wrong there, but I don't think it was necessarily a weight issue. And I don't want to do too many warm-ups and get to the point where I'm like achy and not productive. So I do think I'm going to go from there to the Rogue. It's only a 7-pound jump. 122 should still be within pretty easy working weight. So don't love how that rep felt. but going to go on to the Rogue, maybe do 1 or 2 extra sets there just to get used to that dumbbell before we choose the weight. But overall, not unhappy with how the weight is feeling. My technique's just a little bit squirrely right now, but hopefully we can clean that up. All right, so I'm actually super happy with like the strength and power on those. I can tell that I cut my warm-up short because the hardest part right now is just my shoulder and like elbow feels sticky, and I feel like I'm fighting my own mobility a little bit, and that's on me. That's my own fault. I wasted time and I had to warm up fast, so that part's a bummer. But I am super happy with like the power and strength that I'm feeling right now. So I think if I can just try to be as finicky about positions as I can with how my shoulder's feeling right now, I think it's going to go well today. So that was 122. I'm probably going to bring it up to 130. Hopefully that feels easy and we can go up a little bit from there, but also don't want to be failing reps. So I don't want to make too big of a jump. So we'll go 130 first and then decide if we want to stay there. All right, so we overfilled it a little bit. We were shooting for 130. We got 133. So that's fine. We're here now. A little bit bigger of a jump than I was expecting, but 3 pounds shouldn't be the end of the world. To now that I've got the world's biggest back pump from doing that, we're going to attempt to go into our first working set. Okay. All right, well, lockout on that second rep got a little bit away from me, but I'm actually super happy with that. I don't know if I've hit more than that on this dumbbell in training before. I think actually maybe that was the heaviest that I worked up to last year for the Arnold. So hitting it for a double is a huge confidence booster. I know that that's not huge weight compared to a lot of the girls in this lineup. Dumbbell has always been my Achilles heel. It's just an event that I've really struggled with, but it usually does come together on the day better than I expect it to. And I'm super thrilled with that for a first working set. So I'm going to do one more set there, try to clean up that second rep. If both reps go really well on the second set, I might bring it up a little bit heavier. But I also don't necessarily know if I need to. So we'll probably check in with Law, see what he thinks. But we still have 2 more weeks to build on this. And we're only really going from 1 rep at the show. So we'll see what makes sense for the day. But overall, I'm thrilled with that. Shoulders feeling a little bit sticky, but I feel strong and powerful. So that's a huge confidence booster. So. All right, set 2, the same weight, 133. Okay. It's pretty. They don't suck anymore. All right, last set, we decided to stay at 133 for all of the sets today. Just we don't really need to go heavier, and I'd rather work on making them really clean and really pretty. So we're going to try to hold the lockout on these ones a little bit longer, but try to end on a good note. Last set here. Woo. Last one felt good. All right, so done there. It ended up taking a while, especially with having to load the dumbbell with sand and everything. So I am unfortunately out of time right now, which sucks. So I'll have to come back in a couple hours after I'm done working to finish up the rest of the workout. I'll have block and log after, which is kind of fine. I'll get some food, rest for a little bit, and hopefully push for some bigger numbers on those after a little bit of a break. Probably a little bit more time to actually warm up my shoulders the way that they need to be. But I'll see you back here in a few hours when we get to log. Or I'm not log, block first, I think. I don't know. One of those.
Waddle your ass down the court. Come on, Aaron. Let's go, Aaron. Come on. Come on. Finish it, Aaron. Finish it. Yeah! There you go.
All right, so we're on the block. Just did log. I don't know yet whether I'm going to put those videos in. It was way too loud back here to do like vlogging and talking to the camera. So I got some videos. I might do like a voiceover of those or something. But if I don't put those in, we ended up working up to 230 for a double for the last working set. So I feel pretty good about that. It's nowhere near like my best log from the past, but it's better than log has been going recently. So I'm happy with that. We were supposed to start with block before log, but I was having a really hard time motivating to get started. So I figured I would just start with the thing that felt like a lower barrier to entry to at least get going. So shoulders are feeling nice and warm at this point. Last week on block, we hit 3 doubles at 155. So we have 3 doubles again today, hoping for a little bit more weight than that. So this first warm-up set here will be at 135, and then we'll probably just try to jump to whatever the working weight is based on how that feels. All right, we're up to 165 for the first working set. Hopefully this goes easy today. We're using this to train for the stone press at the Arnold because it's the closest thing that we have that's weight adjustable. The only stone that we have, only natural stone that we have that's appropriate pressing weight is 185. And I just don't really need to hit that quite at this point in training, but I would like to hit it during this prep at some point because our stone weight at the show is 175. So if I can do this for all 3 sets today and make them relatively easy, that should put me on a good path to being able to hit that before the end of prep in a good spot for the event itself. So the goal for today is hitting this weight, 165 for 3 doubles.
Oh, come on. Easy. One more.
Phew. It's only 2. All right, last set of the day. We've done 2 here so far. The second set actually went a lot better than the first one. I felt pretty easy, and it's actually probably a little bit under RPE for the day. But I don't really think we need to go heavier on this right now because this is only 10 pounds under comp weight, and typically a stone is actually a little bit easier than the block because it has some grip to it, a little bit better handholds most of the time. So I'm not really worried about it. We might push the weight a little bit more on Friday when we do like the full medley together, but I think today it's more valuable to just keep it a little bit light and technical, get comfortable in the positions and with the movement. So we're not going to go up in weight from here, even though it's probably a little bit under the RPE that's prescribed, and just go for this last set, making it really easy and clean. The press feels really good. Right now, the hardest part is just getting it off the ground. It feels really far away. My hips are really tight. So that part is actually the hardest part of the movement. And then the press feels pretty good. So we're just going to stay here one more, clean it up.
Come on. Come on.
Done. All right, that's basically a wrap for the day. The bulk of the workout is just the main movements. Actually really happy with how today went. I had one set of log that I was just kind of a bitch about it and didn't try hard enough, so it didn't go up. In general, I think on my overhead, the thing that I need to get over is that it's been frustrating, and I think I've been going into it with a little bit of a defeatist attitude and like already approaching the lifts with the mindset of it's not going to go well. And I'm really trying to work on that like mindset, and like really just trying harder. I think that I'm kind of like, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy of like expecting it to be a struggle, and then because of that, not giving it my all and not giving it everything that I can, and then because of that, creating that reality. So something I think I worked really hard on today is like really just bringing like some like fuck you energy to each lift. And lo and behold, it helps just putting in more effort. So overall happy with that. Really happy with how block is feeling. Actually, I know that it's not quite the same as a natural stone. It's going to feel different, but the weight is moving well. Like I said, contest weight is only 10 more pounds than we did for our working sets today. I would really like next week to be able to press the natural stone that we have, that's 185. So it is a significant jump in weight, but based on how today's felt, I feel like that's going to be doable. So happy with our progress there. Dumbbell, I'm still pretty far behind contest weight, but I'm on track for like the milestones I'd set in my head that I wanted to hit the weeks leading up to the show. So I feel good about the direction that that's heading. On log at this point, it's just probably not realistic to shoot for the heavier log, especially after doing the other two lifts that's at the end of a medley. So hitting the heavier log is probably just not realistic. So with that in mind, I feel pretty good about that event, because we're already hitting over comp weight of the lower log option. So feel good for some reps there. That was really the event that I was most worried about, and it's coming together right in the nick of time. So I think by like next week and the following week, we're going to finally start to feel comfortable with those weights in a way that it's still an event that I am nervous about, but far less nervous. And I feel better, especially after today. I feel better about those lifts. So, like I said, that's about it. I've got some some tricep accessories to finish off, just like some like push downs and overhead extensions, I think, some Pallof presses, but that's about it. I've got 3 different accessory exercises that will go pretty quick. I'll probably be here for another 20-30 minutes. So most of the workout was just the main movements, and that's how most of the workouts are. This last block of prep, the accessories are really on the back burner, and we're just working on getting proficient at the movements and recovering. So the workouts don't need to be like a bunch of accessory work at this point. We're just trying to find like the minimum effective dose where I can get something out of training, but not beat myself up and recover as much as possible, because that's been the hardest part of this prep, is the recovery. Recovery's been really hard. Something I'm going to have to prioritize a lot more over the next 3 weeks, probably cut back on some stuff, sleep more, get more creative with recovery methods that I'm using, because that, I think, is going to be the make or break thing these last few weeks, is just making sure that I'm recovering from the weights that we're moving. So anyways, tomorrow we've got deadlifts and frame. I'm not going to film that one because we filmed that last week, so we'll meet back on Friday. I have a session with Coach Kevin here, the weightlifting coach, so I probably won't film that just because it's hard for me to be engaged in the lesson and also worry about filming. But I'll meet back on Friday after that, because we'll have the press medley and stone to shoulder after our behind the neck jerk work. So that'll be a fun day. As always, thanks for being here. Like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. I'll see you back here on Friday. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you.